Hey everyone, let's go ahead and talk about my reading plans for the month of November, and please let me know what you're planning to read down in the comments below. We'll go ahead and start with what I picked up actually a little bit at the end of October, and that is The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson. I actually ended up finishing this one already. It's November 2nd, and I finished this on November 1st, and real quick, I kind of had mixed feelings about this one. This is probably my least favorite of any of the Mistborn books I've read. I have a lot of divisive thoughts about it. This was an interesting book for sure, so I'll make sure to get a review out for that sooner than later. But let's go ahead and move on to some stuff that I haven't started quite yet. And I will first talk about Impact Winter Season 2. Now, this isn't really a book. They count it as a book. It's on Audible. It's one of Audible's originals, and you've probably seen advertisements for Impact Winter. I saw it was all over the place a year or two ago, and I listened to it and I really liked it. It is one of the few times I've listened to a full immersive audio experience and actually really liked it. Normally I'm the kind of person who likes just your standard audiobook narration, but Impact Winter was done super well. It is written by somebody who worked on my favorite movie of all time, Pacific Rim, and that's actually why I gave it a chance. I love that movie. It's exactly what it wants to be. It's giant monsters fighting giant robots. It's perfect. It doesn't try to get outside of its lane or anything like that. And so that's actually why I went ahead and gave it a shot. And I really liked it. And I saw that season 2 is what they're calling it. So really book 2. It's not very long. It's like 5 hours or something audio wise. So I'm going to give that a listen. It's a vampire story, and it's scary vampires, which is kind of nice. I know a lot of times vampires are kind of put into a different kind of category with the sexy vampires and Twilight, all those kind of things, but this is actually about scary vampires, and yeah, it was a good listen, so I'm looking forward to getting around to the second part of it. It's weird to call it second part, book 2. I think I'm probably going to refer to it as book 2 because, why not? But yeah, it should be an interesting listen to say the least. I know no matter what, it's going to be very well produced, and the audio experience part of it is going to be very well done. After that, I will finally be getting around to starting these secret projects. I will be reading Secret Project 1, Tress of the Emerald Sea, and I am getting so close to the end of my Cosmere journey. I actually don't really know a whole lot about any of the Secret Project books other than bits and pieces I've heard. I've heard this one is kind of a Princess Bride retelling, imaginary, or based kind of inspiration from that story, which I don't actually know anything about that story. I've never seen the movie or read the original books, so I have no idea what to expect. And after that, I will go ahead and move on to probably the book I'm most excited to get to, and that is the new Murderbot diary book, Systems Collapse. This is book 8 in that series, and Murderbot is always just a good time. It's going to be short. It's another novella-length story, and yeah, I always have a lot of fun with Murderbot. Murderbot is a good time. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. They're very short. I will say they are a little expensive for novellas. I don't know what it is. It's like $15 for System Collapse, and I don't know, for a novella, it's like I don't know, it feels a little expensive, but that's not really important. I'm very excited to get back to it. This is a series that it's a fun time, kind of breaks up the monotony of a lot of reading, especially because it's so short. Good palate cleanser. I don't know if I'd recommend reading them back to back to back to back like I did, because in general, the story is kind of similar. It's kind of it's not Monster of the Week, but it has that same kind of doing the same thing, like a Scooby-Doo episode, and the same kind of thing over and over again with slight differences. But in general, it's a fun series, and I'm looking forward to it. It's been 2 years? Yeah, I think 2 years since I read the last one, so it'll be nice to be back with Murderbot. And I think it's going to be a TV show soon or something. I think I saw something about it getting picked up for that. So that will be pretty exciting as well. After that, I will try and pick up Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. That is Secret Project number 3. I'm skipping 2 because it's not a Cosmere book, and I want to make sure I get through all of the Cosmere this year, and I'm getting super close. So once again, don't really know a whole lot about it. I think this one is kind of anime inspired, and that's as much as I know about Secret Project 3. So once again, looking forward to it. Really want to get through, finish the Cosmere stuff. And that's not a whole lot of reading for what I have planned as far as those. So I'm kind of giving myself just some breathing room. One, there's holidays, and I never know how holidays are going to affect me in a month. Sometimes it lets me read a whole lot. Sometimes it doesn't let me read nearly as much. So I'm going to leave it kind of open-ended. I guess I don't want to do this, but I probably would just jump straight into Secret Project 4, The Sunlit Man, if I finished Yumi really quick, just because I want to finish the Cosmere. I want to say I did it in a year, and I'm so close, and I know I still have a whole nother month to do it, but I'm just feeling the itch to be to be done with it and have it completed. I've been watching all kinds of lore videos and everything, and so to be as close as I am to being caught up, I just kind of want to get there. And then I do have 2 other books planned that I think I will start, and maybe with some of the flexibility in my scheduling this month, I'll actually put a little bit more effort into those. And the first one of those would be War Host of Vastmark by Janie Wertz. This is book 3 in the War of Light and Shadow series by her. Once again, that's just a book I haven't really put too much effort into. I haven't even started it yet, but it is one I'm looking forward to. Its prose is unlike anything else I've ever read, and this is a good epic fantasy story. I highly recommend it if you are down for what I consider challenging prose. I'm sure for other people it's maybe not as difficult, but for me it is. And so I will hopefully get around to putting a little bit of effort into that. And also Return to Adan by Philip Chase. This is another very, very large book, and I would like to get around to starting it. Both of these, I don't think I'll finish either of them. These are books that I am probably going to want to take my time with, kind of sit with a little bit longer. And I'll just be honest, the fact that I don't have an audiobook for them, I always read slower when it's a physical edition because I don't like to just sit and read. I'm a big fan of like walking when I listen to an audiobook, that kind of thing. So the flexibility those give makes me read a little bit faster. So the fact that these are physical editions, I'll probably actually read Return to Adan on the Kindle, will definitely make me read them a little bit slower as well. But I also do just kind of want to bask in both of these books. I don't think either of them are really good candidates for like binge reading. So there's some introspection and things happening, especially in Return to Adan. I'm expecting a lot of introspection, thinking of who am I, what am I kind of things. So I think that'll be interesting to get to. But let me know if you have any other suggestions that you think maybe I should add onto this list. Like I said, the ones I'm really going to stick to are pretty short. Impact Winter is like 5 hours. Tress is 12, but I listen at 1.8 times speed, so that's probably closer to like 7. System Collapse is another 5, so it's really like 3. And I actually haven't looked how long Yumi is, but I think it's probably about the same length as Tress. So I mean, that's not a whole lot of reading for me to do if I'm reading at my normal pace. So definitely let me know if there's anything else you think I should sneak in there outside of starting those 2 physical books. But that's all for me, and as always, have a good one.